whole vibe of country music is just epic. Get your country here. Yeah.
You're listening to Alpha Media's Country Connection, your digital destination for new country, online, on location, and on the airwaves.
Brand new.
New country first.
And we are back. So excited. Britt here with Alpha Media, and I have BOOMTOWN Saints on with me. How are you guys today?
Doing excellent. Thank you very much for having us.
It's a beautiful day outside.
Definitely. Birds are singing. Can't beat that. It's not snowing. That's always a plus.
Yes, that's a very good point.
So Chris and Ben, you make up the BOOMTOWN Saints. Tell me a little bit about how you guys kind of got together on this.
So Ben was a solo artist, and he was, I met him at the gym, over 5 years ago now.
Yep.
And he was a solo artist, and I knew he was a solo artist. I was in the corporate world. I was helping pharmaceutical companies commercialize their products, working in boardrooms and all that kind of stuff. I always wanted to be a musician. I even tried when I was younger, but it just never really went anywhere. So he had a baby, had to get a real job. And, Ben was telling me his career was winding down. I think I met him in early 2018, and he was going to play a show in August. He picked up a show on 2 weeks notice. And in August in Nashville, you don't do anything with musicians on 2 weeks notice, because anybody who's worth their salt is booked at least a month out in the summertime here in Nashville. And so he needed help finding a bass player. And I've been in the city for a long time, and I was like, I'll help you find a bass player. I underestimated just how difficult that was going to be. Sure. So a couple days before the show, he says, I know you were a musician. Can you play bass? And I was like, I'll give it a shot. So he handed me, I thought it was going to be 8 to 10 songs, headline.
Surprise.
Yeah, 44 songs he handed me.
Oh my goodness.
I had to learn in 2 days. Did it. We went and played, and it went really well. We got invited back before the end of the night. He asked me to come out with him again the next weekend. Same thing happened. The next weekend, the same thing happened. We got invited back before the end of the night. And at that point, he was kind of like, we should maybe give this thing a shot, which for me was awesome, because my dream had died at that point.
Yeah.
And so, we got real serious probably about 2.5 years ago when labels started getting interested. But that's really how it happened. I mean, it was unexpected. We kind of fell into it, and here we are.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is so cool. And you are very correct. It's really neat to watch people come in and they book a show and they get into the show, and then they come up, like the owner comes up and says, "Hey, I want you again. Come back." Like, they book you right away. That's definitely a good sign.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. And it kept happening. So we figured something was there.
There was definitely something there, because he added such a different element to the show. I mean, like, I can get up there and sing all day long, and I can move, but this guy right here, he can really move. If you see somebody jumping off stage, it's not me, it's him.
That's me.
That works. Well, and I know you guys kind of put your sound a little bit different than most when you have that. Describe your sound. If people hadn't heard you before, describe your sound on kind of what they would be listening to.
The best description we've heard to date is somebody called us a rock forward country band with roots in 90s country. So we have very diverse musical backgrounds. Ben, classic rock, old school country. Mine was R&B, jazz, blues. And it's, as we were playing, as things were started to form, you can hear all of those elements. But we've been told it sounds fairly unique, because the way we do things, the way he phrases things and I phrase things, the way I play guitar, the way we write different songs and melodies, it kind of bleeds them all together. But our live show, definitely, anybody comes to see our live show, it is definitely a rock forward show. We want to make sure everybody's having fun.
Awesome. Well, and the different style, you guys are both from different locations also. Do you think that plays a little bit into that?
I think so. I mean, Chris, you've been here for what?
25 years.
25 years in Nashville, and I grew up in South Haven, Mississippi. So,
okay,
what he was saying, like our different background, like you were saying, different backgrounds, it definitely plays into it, because I'm hardcore country. Let's just put it that way. And he brings that element into what we're doing, and has made it so special, especially like he said in our live show.
That's awesome. Well, now you guys have done a lot of music and you have a new single that's coming out. It's called Blacktop Don't. I see a guitar there in your hands. Are you willing to play for us?
We will play for you. Absolutely.
Sounds good.
We have well, they're going to hear the single.
They're going to hear the single.
We should let them, we should play one that, so actually we're going to give you all a sneak peek of something. We recorded this. It has not been released yet.
Okay.
It's going to be one of our focus singles coming up in a few months when we're releasing our EP at the end of July. And then we're releasing our EP at the end of June, excuse me. And then we have a full length coming out later in the fall. This is going to be full length in fall. And this song we actually got to write in Fame Studios and actually recorded it in Fame Studios. Yeah. And we wrote it about our wives. So if we can play it, it's called A Good Woman, and we'll do that one. Yep.
All yours.
All right, let's make sure nothing's smoking back here. Oh, it's a diffuser. We're good. Okay.
I was wondering because you can't see it, look for me, Ben. But something just started like smoke rising up
behind our computer.
You know that computers do run on smoke, right? Because the minute that it's gone, they don't work anymore. So they actually run on smoke.
Yeah, it's okay. It's the oil diffuser, so we're good. Because it was a big cloud of smoke. It was not. That was a computer we needed to get out of the house. Okay, this song is called A Good Woman.
I drink less and stay home more. No sleeping off the night before. She stole my heart when she took my hand. A good woman makes you want to be a good man. I was in love and leave unkind. One smile from her has changed my mind. Now I'm making love and making plans. A good woman makes you want to be a good man. I didn't even know that I was lost until she found me, put her arms around me. Now I understand the power of a simple touch from the perfect hand. A good woman makes you want to be a good man. She's an angel, but she don't have wings. She's hot as hell in a pair of jeans. She loves me like nobody can. A good woman makes you want to be a good man. I didn't even know that I was lost until she found me, put her arms around me. Now I understand the power of a simple touch from the perfect hand. A good woman makes you want to be a good man. Live my life so selfishly until her salvation set me free. Thought I'd never see the promised land. A good woman makes you want to be a good man. She stole my heart when she took my hand. A good woman makes you want to be a good man.
Woo! That was great.
Thank you.
So very good. So very good. A little bit of the softer side of you guys instead of your.
Yeah. So we're trying to, one of the goals in writing our album and what we're doing is, one of the things I've always respected, and I don't, whatever people think of different bands, it's on them. But one thing that I always respected of, like, especially people like late FGL, the later in their time, every song that came out on the radio sounded different. And it was still tied to their roots, and you could still tell it was them. But I always respected the diversity. They didn't ever get pigeonholed into one sound. And so that's something we've been very intentional about when we're writing our album, is making sure that, you know, you don't hit next and every song sounds the same. So that is definitely one of the reasons that we sat down to write a 90s country song. So
nice. Well, I love it. And now, speaking of next, into the next ones, what do you guys got coming up next for you guys? Aside from the album coming out, the new single coming out, where are you guys all going to be going?
We are going to be all over the country this summer. We are heading out on tour. It really kicks off the second day of June.
Okay.
And we are gone basically until mid-August. We're going to everywhere from Connecticut to Texas to Alaska to Oregon to Washington to Wisconsin to Illinois. I mean, everywhere in between, Indiana. Here in Tennessee, we get to play CMA Fest on June 10th, which is a huge honor to be invited to do that.
Yeah.
On Saturday, June 10th, will be 12:15 at the Hard Rock stage, which is right in front of River at Front, if anybody's going to be there. So we're going to be everywhere. That's kind of what's next for us. You're going to be there? Let's go. All right.
I have like a map that I'm going to be here and then there and then here and then there. And I'm going to be all over the place for CMA Fest.
Well, if anybody hasn't been to CMA Fest, it's if you like music, even you don't even have to love country music, but obviously that helps. But if you like music in general, I mean, it's Music City, and it's all of everybody brings their best to CMA Fest. It's the next thing next to the Opry, basically. If you get invited to play CMA Fest, it's a huge honor. So everybody brings their A game. And just if you can get there, it's one heck of an experience for a weekend.
Yeah. And then being able to get the experience of you guys anywhere around the country, it sounds like, for the summer, it's going to be a fun time for you guys.
I am, he knows this, up until January, I had never been west of Texas.
Oh, wow.
And so,
or north
or
east,
or I've been east, but
he basically went Texas, Tennessee.
I'm really looking forward. I'm looking forward to CMA Fest because we've been wanting to do that for forever. But I am looking forward to going to Alaska.
Oh, yeah, so beautiful up there.
I told him, I said, I'm gonna bring my fly rod, and we're gonna go out there. And he looked at me. He said, "Dude, just rent one."
To travel. He would show up to the airport, forget his shoes, would bring the fly rod. That's
about priorities. You can rent
priorities. I'm a fly rod.
You see what he does? He tries to talk like me.
Anytime you hear Ben Chisholm said, from this point forward, you're going to think, he said, well, I hope you're going to think in his voice. You can't help but think.
The entire band, anytime I send a text message, it's almost like a Morgan Freeman thing. Anytime you see like words from, you got to read it and listen in Morgan Freeman's voice.
Yes, there you go. That's not a bad thing. You should just make some, voiceovers that people can just use those in their,
I don't know if I want to do that.
No, he makes up words on accident sometimes. So
I did, didn't I?
And we had a radio interview at CRS, which is for those that know, it's a big radio conference. Mm-hmm. And he came up with some words. I was like, that is not even in the English language.
That's not
even how that works.
Not even a thesaurus.
But somehow we understood. Well, I don't know how that happened, but yeah.
I love it. I've got some friends of mine that I love their sayings, and it's usually it's very Missouri. I think it's very in that aspect. So it's very Texas.
It's very
too.
Ben. This
so,
is Ben. So.
Yeah, that's me. I can't help it.
Very cool. Well, you guys, I tell you what, I want to know, working together, speaking of that, I want to know, asking the question to each other, and you can say this about each other, what is one thing that you consider a positive characteristic about your bandmate?
Mine for Ben would probably be he is very even keel. So I mean, he doesn't really get worked up. He doesn't really get too down. He kind of always stays right here. Mm-hmm. And somebody with my personality, I need that because I'm ADD by definition. Like I'm just all over the place. But yeah, I think for me, that would be the thing that I think Ben, I appreciate. One of the things I appreciate the most about him.
Okay. All right.
This guy, I appreciate his drive.
Okay.
Because without his drive, none of this would have been possible. I would have given up on this. I would have gone, and he told me to stick it out and keep going. And every day he pushes me to, I mean, to new levels of, I want to hit him sometimes, but, this is going where it's going because of his drive, and I couldn't appreciate that more.
Awesome. Well, that is great. I appreciate you guys. And also I saw little birdie told me that you guys work very closely with St. Jude.
We do. Yes. St. Jude. We both have daughters. Ben has 2. I have 3 only daughters, which is awesome. Girl Dad is the best title on earth as far as I'm concerned. And, St. Jude never turns a kid away, ever. So if you're looking to donate somewhere, we strongly recommend St. Jude. Really, when I had my first daughter is when things got to the point where she had, when she was a baby, she had RSV. And it was very bad, to the point where on New Year's Eve, they treated her, and they're like, if she's not getting significantly better in 4 hours, you're meeting us at the hospital. And it was going to be St. Jude. And at the time, we just didn't really have the money to afford some big hospital stay. And like, don't worry. And just the fact that that was the relief it gave me, and the peace of mind it gave me, knowing my little girl was going to be all right if something happened. From that day forward, I mean, every bit of money I can give them, I give to them. And we support with shows, done a lot of radiothons with them, but done some shows to support St. Jude. But yes, that's something that we are very passionate about.
Very cool. Well, you guys are very passionate about that and also your music. And we are so glad that you were able to take a moment with us and hop on here with Alpha Media.
We appreciate you having us very much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and we will look forward to seeing you guys down the road.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing you soon.
Sounds great.
Let's try something new. The newest country on the radio. That's the spirit.
Welcome to country music.
It inspires you. It motivates you.
Tells a story. Talks a lot about life.
Really warms my heart.
Keep the country on all day. How about that?
Best country on the radio.
Amen.